Okay, let's unpack this. We have a pretty fascinating situation today, diving into these sources detailing 4 lives, all successful, high pressure, that just kind of implode. And it all seems kicked off by this one shared, frankly miserable milestone birthday.
Yeah, it's like simultaneous combustion almost.
But yeah.
So what we're really digging into here is how these, well, severe external events, we're talking
Hmm.
a terrorist attack, a potentially career-ending injury, an unplanned pregnancy, how they basically hit the reset button.
A compulsory reset, yeah.
Exactly. These are people who spent decades building this, perfect public image. And suddenly all this chaos forces them to drop the act and, well, figure out what actually matters.
The timing is just, it's wild. Everything hinges on this one date. We've got 3 major generational milestones all landing on the exact same day.
Right.
Valerie Wyatt, the sort of lifestyle guru, she's turning 60. Then there's Jack Adams, Hall of Fame QB turned sportscaster. He hits 50.
The big 5-0.
And April Wyatt, Valerie's daughter, the chef, she's turning 30.
And for every single one of them, that number, that age, it isn't just anxiety. It brings this catastrophic public exposure.
Yeah.
The moment that perfection is revealed is, well, just constant upkeep.
Right, just maintenance.
Their lives go off the rails. But interestingly, toward what turns out to be a kind of radical, maybe even beneficial change.
Let's start with Valerie, the 60-year-old. I mean, she's the high priestess of gracious living. For 35 years, she's been selling the dream, the perfect linens, the fancy mustards, gourmet chocolates.
Her whole brand is her presentation. That perfect blonde bob, always chic. The figure, those signature Manolo Blahnik heels.
It's got to be exhausting.
Oh, it is. The sources are really clear. She's deeply depressed about turning 60. She'd kept her age a secret for years, and then bam, it's announced on the radio, on TV.
Ouch. A total betrayal of that image she curated.
Totally. And she feels completely alone. No husband, no date for her birthday, her daughter's too busy. It's this picture of success, but, built on a pretty hollow personal foundation.
So what does she do when that reality cracks?
She runs straight to her psychic, Alan, of course.
Naturally.
And Alan tells her exactly what her professional ego needs to hear. Success, new deals, great ratings. But then he drops this hint, a personal one, about a new man, the Jack of Spades.
Ah, the plot thickens. It's interesting how the sources set that up, isn't it? The professional validation right alongside this clue about her personal life needing something.
Yeah, the universe is kind of nudging her, saying,
Yeah.
okay, you got the career stuff, but there's this whole other dimension missing.
Meanwhile, her future Jack of Spades, Jack Adams, is having probably the worst 50th birthday ever.
Oh, absolutely.
This is a guy who successfully transitioned from NFL legend, 6 MVP awards, Hall of Fame, to star sportscaster, retired early, 38, because of a knee injury.
Right. But on his 50th birthday, the crisis isn't his knee. It's pure ego and pain. Excruciating pain.
From what?
He's got a herniated disc. And the sources, they don't shy away from the cause.
Okay.
A night with a 22-year-old.
Oh.
He literally looks at himself doubled over in pain and thinks his career as a wild and crazy lover had ended. The irony is just biting. His physical collapse isn't from sports this time. It's directly tied to trying to defy his age.
Wow. Defined by physical prowess his whole life, and now he's lying to fans, saying he was in a car accident just to avoid the humiliation.
Exactly. Total cover-up.
Yeah.
And he shuffles into the network studio in his gym clothes, unshaven, basically bent in half.
Which sets up this incredibly awkward but pivotal first meeting.
It's perfect, isn't it? He's in the elevator, looking like, as the source says, Quasimodo. Just a mess. And who walks in?
Valerie Wyatt, immaculate, red coat, high heels, the absolute opposite.
Total physical collapse meets total aesthetic control. It's quite the visual.
And Jack recognizes her, the gracious lifestyle guru, but because he's kind of looking past his own misery for a second, he spots something, a flaw.
Yeah, these tiny pinpricks of blood on either side of her mouth.
Which she brushes off, but we know.
We know. She just came from getting Botox, right after the psychic reading, trying to maintain the very image the psychic said was key to her success.
So their first connection, their foundation, is built on this shared hidden vanity, this mutual vulnerability. His body failing him, trying to act young, her using needles to look young.
They see the cost of keeping up appearances in each other, right there in that elevator. It's surprisingly honest, in a way.
It really is. Okay, so that's the older generation. Let's shift to April, turning 30. Her anxieties are totally different.
Completely. Valerie's worried about her image cracking. April's worried she hasn't even built enough yet.
Right. She feels like she's failing by traditional standards. No
Yeah.
husband, no kids. Plus, she's got this huge debt to her mother for her restaurant.
And that restaurant, April in New York, it's her entire world. She's pouring everything into it, constantly booked, fancy seasonal stuff like white truffles flown in from Italy.
She's all in on the career.
Totally. But then the universe, or maybe just biology, throws a massive curveball. On her 30th birthday, she finds out she's pregnant, 10 weeks along, from what she calls a stupid mistake. A one-night stand over Labor Day weekend, apparently involving a lot of alcohol, and an antibiotic that messed with her birth control.
So, a complete accident. A total redirection.
And the father, Mike Steinman, the food critic.
Wait, the food critic? The one who...
Yep. The one who gave her this absolutely brutal review, called her food childish, overly simplistic, accused her of underachieving.
Okay, so there's history there. Bad history. And not just personal, but professional friction, too.
Exactly. It speaks to their whole philosophy about food, maybe even life. Now, Mike's reaction to the pregnancy news, it's complicated.
Oh, so?
Well, the sources paint a really tough picture of his childhood, described as a nightmare, alcoholic, abusive parents, and tragically, his brother committed suicide.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So Mike made this vow, never have kids, never repeat that cycle. He even broke up with a long-term girlfriend, 5 years, because she wanted a family and he just couldn't. His resistance isn't just being difficult, it's rooted in deep trauma.
So April's really in a tough spot. Mike's a definite no. Her mom probably wouldn't be thrilled. Her career.
Right. But then she sees the sonogram, and that changes everything for her. She realizes she just can't do it, meaning have an abortion. She decides she's keeping the baby, due in June.
Alone.
She's prepared to. She decides she'll take it on herself, but she also feels Mike has a right to know. It's this interesting moment where she chooses responsibility, this unexpected path, maybe over her laser-focused career ambition.
It's fascinating how these personal crises are bubbling up for all of them, questioning their priorities.
And then comes the external shock, the thing that forces everyone's hand. The terrorist attack at the network building.
Right, this completely unforeseen disaster. Valerie is inside. She's one of the hostages.
Suddenly, image means nothing. It's pure survival. And Jack, who just happened to step outside minutes before the lockdown,
He stays, despite his back.
he stays, forgets the pain, uses his VIP status, his knowledge of the building to help the SWAT teams. It's this incredible shift from, the absurdity of his injury cause.
To genuine heroism.
Exactly. And when the women hostages finally escape, there's a sniper. Jack shields Valerie. He takes the bullet. Hits an artery in his leg. It's critical.
He literally puts his body on the line for her, the thing he was so obsessed with protecting, his physical self. He sacrifices it.
It's like the ultimate purging of that old ego, you could say.
And while this horror is unfolding on TV, April is at her restaurant just frantic about her mom.
Glued to the screen. And who shows up despite everything?
Mike.
Mike. He comes immediately. And they just sit there together in this shared agony and fear. It's not about the review or the baby argument anymore. It's just raw human connection.
That kind of crisis, it strips everything else away.
It forces Mike, Mr. Avoids Emotional Entanglement, to actually be present, to connect.
The aftermath is rough, though. Valerie's assistant, Marilyn, is killed.
Yeah, and the detail about the planned Christmas puppy gift, it just makes it so poignant, such a senseless loss.
But out of this tragedy, something shifts. Valerie goes to visit Jack in his VIP hospital suite.
And what does she bring him? Not champagne or caviar.
Comfort food.
Meatloaf and mashed potatoes, made by April.
Ah, connecting all the dots. Through trauma and now food.
Right. Their bond forms there. Shared survival, Jack's genuine kindness shining through, Valerie letting that perfect guard down just a little. They just acknowledge, it is a terrifying day. We're lucky to be alive.
And you see their priorities just click, shift immediately. They start talking, finding common ground over the ridiculous pressures of their industries, always worried about being too old.
Which leads to this huge moment for Jack. He gets offered a major promotion. Big deal. But it requires moving to Miami.
And after everything,
He says no. He turns it down.
that's massive for someone like him, whose identity was so tied to career success.
It is. He tells Valerie straight up, he won't turn my life upside down for the job anymore. He won't sacrifice his personal life. And then he says this line, which just sums it all up.
What's that?
He says, I didn't go through all that to find you and then throw it all away.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's the core of it, isn't it?
Pretty much. They both slow down. Valerie was worried about being, quote, the grandmother you sleep
Right.
with.
The age gap thing.
But Jack reassures her. He says he loves her, not the empty-headed girls he used to date just for his ego. They decide this relationship is the best one either of them has ever had. No pressure for marriage, just being together, prioritizing the connection.
It's amazing. And what about April and Mike? Is there a similar shift?
There is, yeah. Also rooted in a new kind of realism.
Yeah.
Mike comes back after a few months of silence. He apologizes point blank for being an asshole.
Okay, that's a start.
He's obviously shocked by how pregnant April is. But then the baby kicks, and he feels it. And something clicks for him, too.
The physical connection.
Seems like it.
Hmm.
But the really big reconciliation happens professionally. He finally gets her restaurant concept. He sees her dedication, especially through the hostage crisis. He realizes his first review was just wrong, pretentious.
What does he do?
He writes a new review, a major positive one, with full disclosure about their relationship, obviously. He praises her real food for real people philosophy. He says his first review was utterly pretentious.
Now that must have meant the world to her. Validation not just personally, but professionally.
The source calls it the best gift he could have given her. It validates her work, her vision, especially after all that anxiety about turning 30 and measuring up.
Okay, so things are looking up. Surely no more disasters.
You'd think. But no. One last curveball. Shortly before the baby's due, April's restaurant catches fire.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Caused by something mundane like caramelizing food getting out of hand, she nearly goes into labor trying to put it out herself.
Unbelievable. But how do they handle this crisis?
Distantly. Mike is right there. Horrified, supportive, stays with her. The loss of the actual restaurant, that symbol of her singular focus, the source of her debt, it kind of pushes them towards a new kind of commitment.
So in the ashes?
Mike proposes. Right there, in the aftermath.
Wow.
They get married quickly, Memorial Day weekend at Valerie's apartment. Just days later, April gives birth to a baby boy, Sam. So those terrible birthdays, they really did pave the way for a whole new life.
Incredible. So when we boil it all down, what's the main takeaway here?
I think it's pretty clear. The kind of success and fame these people had, it comes with this crushing, almost dehumanizing pressure to keep up an image. But it took profound crisis, real, external, unavoidable crisis, to force honesty.
Jack's injury, Valerie's hostage situation, April's pregnancy, the fire.
Exactly. They had to slow down. They were forced to prioritize basic human connection over just striving, over the next rung on the ladder.
Valerie had that analogy right. Her career was like an express train, going too fast for anyone to get on board.
Yeah, and it turned out to be true for both her and Jack. They literally had to fall off their respective trains. His back giving out, her near-death experience, to slow down enough to find something real, something not driven by ego.
So for you listening, maybe the message here is that it doesn't matter if you're facing 30 or 50 or 60 with anxiety. It's really never too late to pivot, to change what you prioritize.
Right. And sometimes the biggest breakthroughs, the most meaningful changes, they don't come from careful planning. They come from embracing, or at least surviving, the biggest disruptions.
Yeah.
The chaos.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Valerie and Jack, the established stars, they had to shed all that professional ego, that vanity to find happiness. And April and Mike, they had to accept this huge responsibility they actively didn't want.
Yeah.
So does real contentment only show up when we stop sticking to the timeline we think we should be on, when we accept the messy, unexpected, maybe even accidental life that just happens to us?
That's definitely something to chew on. A provocative thought indeed.
Until the next deep dive.